I have my beautiful wife, Tanya, joining me. We just did a quick little live video on a different page, hence the build your wealth thing. Some houses growing from I've never pointed this out on the road, but it's kind of interesting. Starting small and getting. I think that's a common thing in real estate, having to work your way up. First house was a 40-year no down payment mortgage. That was a big house. It was a beast. There was only like 3 houses on the market that were even potential to buy, and it was either the pink shag carpet or the one with the Palmer carpet. So yeah, Tanya's gonna ask you some questions, I think.
Yeah, we're going to do a little quick Q&A today. So basically, questions, get his.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually liked a little bit better, like when I had. Well, I guess when I used to do my interviews, I'd ask people questions, so I had them written down. But I'd rather have a question asked and just talk about what I know than try and remember. Look at this. I like what I. Well, the market report's not too.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, so the first question.
I don't even know what the questions are.
Anyway, the first question is, what's the biggest mistake you make when trying a house? In your opinion, it's not the rule.
What's the biggest mistake? I think there's many obstacles to selling a home. I think not cut and dry one answer, but I'm going to say maybe the highest, most common thing that people don't realize they're doing. I try to be way more conservative now, but you always want to keep your client happy. And unfortunately, sometimes people have to be proven wrong, but overpricing a house doesn't usually. When I was new, I was like, yeah, I want to get as much money as possible, put it up here. But I mean, it's proven time over time. If you start up here, have to bring it down. You're going to end down here when market value is here. Or if you start at market value, you're going to end closer to it, depending on the market. In this crazy market, maybe above, and definitely not as much below. But if you have to adjust the price 3 or 4 times value. Another thing that I find is common is people selling maybe situational. If they're selling and they're not going to recall awards or joint venture with an in-law or something, they don't feel like it's worth doing the work to the house to make it more saleable standard. Every little thing you can do to go home to make it more perfect and tenfold. Some major renovations such as windows, depending how bad the other ones are, maybe not, but the little things and the quality and cleanliness.
All right.
Does that answer?
That answers it. So what's the easiest, quickest, and cheapest thing selling homes that have the basically?
Can I go over this in my last one a little bit?
A little bit.
I mean, the easiest, quickest, and cheapest is I think the labor things, the cleaning up the yard, giving good curb appeal, getting rid of any garbage. It's common that people rent either a storage locker or a sea can and put all your stuff in it. Your house look as clean as possible. I always say that if someone that's like really messy can walk into your home and be like, I could live like that because they think the house that organized or that clean. I always say that's what you want. You want someone to walk in and go, holy, this is a really nice house. Look at all the cupboard space. Nothing out on the counters. There must be lots of room to store stuff. Whether that's true or not, it's the illusion you want to put out there. Because organization is. Should we clean? I freaked out, cleaned my office. All my papers are gone. But it's inevitable that when you're living in a space, it's hard to keep it perfect, but you want it to look for your pictures for sure. I mean, I understand everyone can live. Did that answer the question? The easiest thing, yeah, cleanliness and stuff, and don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money on some stuff and some talking. I think something that isn't big around here that I have tried to promote in the past that people don't do a lot of is staging. I mean, I used to pay for the staging consult. I don't really do it anymore. Maybe I would if it came up, but it's $200-300 for a staging consult, and they'll give you a to-do list and the most effective things. And sometimes it's curb appeal, sometimes it's something bigger. But I think a lot of the time it can stop you from doing big renovations to the client. So I think staging consults have a lot of value if someone do it.
One of the questions coming up is how important is staging to the selling process?
100%, depending on the person in the house. I mean, people will be like, oh, we're not supposed to have personal pictures. And I'm like, yeah, but, don't overstate. If it's too personal, maybe, if it's even lingerie, but I think it's Tanya out there. That's not that bad. But yeah, so I think staging is important, whether you do it yourself or you hire a professional. And staging, I think people have a misconception on staging. A staging is someone who will come through your home. They'll give you, depending on what you want to do, I think as well, but they'll give you ideas on what to renovate, what not to renovate, what furniture to move, get rid of, or leave in place, as well as give you options to bring different stuff in or add or remove stuff and charge you to help you with that. So it's not just like placing pictures on the walls or taking them off. It is suggestions for renovations and helping you like contractors and stuff. I'm good at that, but I feel like I think I have good taste, but I don't have the eye trained in that would have, or a female. I think it's a little more of a female thing, maybe the staging part, because they like design and stuff. I think design's great, but don't want to do it myself. So I can always give you tips, but maybe not as effective as someone that's trained in that industry.
So what are the top 3 questions buyers ask purchasers?
The top 3 questions in this market: is it available? Is it available? And is it available?
Okay, what are the
Top 3 questions they should ask buyers. Well, I think availability is one of the biggest ones. You never know if a house is actually available. Once it goes subject to, sit there and still look active. In some cases, a longer period before it shows it's sold, and people always get thrown off by that. Well, why is it still listed? Why is it still listed? It's not sold firm. I think.
as a buyer?
I mean, I think the questions you ask are depend on your ability to finance what you're needing. So if you have really specific needs, big family, big kitchen, you need a big house, you want oceanfront, you want mountain view, you want inland, more land. If you can afford to have those choices on the price point, then I think it's important that you ask those questions for what you need and make sure your criteria is set for that. But I think in this market, large percent of the people just need to get into the house. So, I don't know, availability. Are they holding offers in this market? A lot of people want to ask personal questions and get the motivation of the seller. That is important, but it's really hard to do. Why are they moving? Would they take less money for their house? Like those types of questions are hard ones. The listing agent's job, client, although sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I think, is there a 3D tour in this market with COVID? Have you done a drive-by? They should be doing those things so that maybe they
What are your best tips for buyer? Here, a trick one for this.
Such a loaded one. So I've been in real estate about 5 years. When I was new, I was all about, yeah, let's get the deal. Saved you 10 grand, saved you 20 grand. That's awesome. I love saving money. I love making money, and money's important, but the most important thing is to get into that. We can enter in a market where we can save you 10, 20 grand, perhaps 50, and get a good deal, or a property that's been sitting on market for a long time. To negotiate in today's market, honestly, if you find a house that's new to the market, priced well, and it's appealing to you, today's market with just over 1 month inventory, 30 days of the market, super low, prices are increasing. They're not holding offers. Your best is to make a full price offer, at least. If they are holding offers, I'd probably get your realtor to pull last month's average over list price. Like I pulled 8 the other day and it was 20 grand average. I would bump your offer up that much. So in that, of those 8 properties, 450 to 550, 600 range, I would bump your price up 20,000, and then I would bump it up a little more based on what you feel the right amount to get the scales of winning that offer. Plus a couple little numbers just to throw it off. If it's 45,000, make it 47,990. So a couple $100, couple thousand. So yeah, negotiating in this market, it's about getting you into the home, winning in the multiple offers, and actually deciphering what the market is actually worth. The homes that come on the market that aren't super nice and move-in ready may not go into multiples, so it's a little different. But brand new to the market, most sellers in this market will offer, right? It's just not happening. and know your end point, know your start point. So know the most you're willing to pay for the home, where you'll feel like if you lose it, you still offered enough. You won't feel guilty that you didn't offer enough. And if you win it, you won't feel like you. And when you calculate, always calculate out like that $5,000, that $10,000. Go to your mortgage calculator and figure out what the payment. Find it's actually quite minimal. So negotiating, another thing too, like I always say, if we're just doing a normal negotiation, not multiples. Multiples, you basically get one chance to offer. If you're the first offer, you'll get a chance to write that offer, or you should. But in a normal negotiation where there's parties going back and forth, I always say expect 3. If you want to end at a certain number, if you want to end at asking price or a little bit under, or a little bit over, start your negotiation at a number where you can meet in the middle and both parties expect 3 offers. Usually after 3, it seems to prove pretty accurate.
No, because it is Canada.
Everywhere.
What
crazy places it's going crazy where it never has.
What would you suggest to a buyer to make the offer stand out?
Oh,
especially if they're
this is a huge one. So hopefully the listing agent is organized enough that they can either get you the documents or have them all in the document tab, which your realtor will have access to back end. PDS, title, what? Yeah, well, you can't. Well, if they're holding offers, honestly, you can do a pre-inspection. It's so not common around here, but if you can start to do stuff that's a little above what the normal is here. So PDS, title, review those with your realtor. Make sure you can sign and waive them, satisfy those subjects. If there's anything really weird like a pending litigation on title, you're obviously not going to satisfy that. Your realtor could go to City Hall ahead of time, or you can waive that subject. Obviously, there's risks to waiving subjects. Subject to insurance can be waived sometimes. Or if you have a good broker, you can shoot your MLS sheet off to them and get a pre-approval basically on insurance and satisfy that as well. Pre-inspections, I think that's something that could be starting to be done here if you're going to be in multiple offers. Have a pre-approval letter. What was the question again?
How can a buyer make their offer?
Right. So a pre-approval letter, 100%. Some brokers will do a pre-approval letter, not from the bank, but from them saying qualified. Some brokers won't. I haven't seen that in Campbell River, but I've talked to outside brokers that do. So the pre-approval letter, actually make it as clean as possible. Leave things open to the sellers, whether it be possession. Another strategy that I've actually never done around here about a lot is write 2 offers. Present 2 offers to that seller, giving them long closing, quick closing, more money, less money. Because the seller, you can't write 2 offers on 2 houses, but you can write 2 offers on 1 house. The seller can't accept. It doesn't work, right? Mm-hmm. So you can do that. You can try to make your offers appealing as possible to the seller. Ask what dates they want. Ask what timeline they need, if possible. If you're selling a house, sometimes it's complicated, but all those little things, just try and make your offer be the most appealing. Another one too, like I use BombBomb a lot for video. People used to write letters with pictures of their kids and the family. A quick BombBomb video. I actually did one the other day for Lynn and Melissa. They did one and sent it to the sellers or to the seller's agent with the offer. That was enough. Just something personal so they can know who you are, right? Hopefully like you more than the other person, different or something. Video, letters, old school.
Video.
Yelling to the mic.
I guess my last question then for you is it possible for a buyer to get a comprehensive detail in a house that they're interested in, like the history?
In a detail.
Like the history, how did you
kind of history? Sales history? You wrote it.
Home history, sales history, house history.
Is it possible to get the history of the home? If the house has been on the market for a while, if it's had a previous inspection, something major has came up, that should be reflected on the PDS as a new thing if it's fixed. If it was like a major issue, that should be disclosed. So if there was an issue on an old inspection, then that should be disclosed unless it's been repaired. So that history, yeah. Sales history, your agent can definitely go back and look and when it sold last. But I mean, it's all fine and dandy to go, they bought it 2 years ago for $200,000. They got lots of room to move, but in reality, that's what houses are worth now. So I find globbing onto what they pay whether they renovated it or not. I feel like that's not the best tactic. BC assessment does say sales history for the last 3 years, so you can look there. City Hall is a big one if there's been any additions or permits done without, additions or alterations done to the house without a permit. If there's an illegal suite, and I actually question this, and I should ask City Hall if that actually would show, because they pull personal information out of the file. I think if there's an illegal suite that had been shut down in the house, it should stay in the file, but I've never seen one. So do they pull that out because it's personal? I don't think they do. City Hall has a lot of info for where your sewer connections are, storm connections. It's a super old house, maybe it never had a storm connection. If you have to do perimeter drains or something. What other history would there be? Sales history. But yeah, the archives, City Hall, and sometimes, final building inspections, 1990s or newer, usually it has it, but you'll go in there and find nothing in the regional district. And it just is what it is, but your building inspector is a huge one. Hire a good, knowledgeable building inspector. Nice to be able to find those problems. Perfect stuff can get missed, but I think a building inspector is a huge part of it. A realtor that can walk through and point stuff out that they may know and have some knowledge of instructions. What else?
That's all I have, really.
Your questions are hard.
Make you think.
Hopefully that made sense to you guys. I felt like I was talking kind of fast, but hopefully everyone listening got some value. If anyone's listening, please feel free to like and share my videos, my business page. I've been trying to ask for that more often because I noticed that's what all the people with lots of likes and follows do, is they ask you to like and share it. So if you can do that, that'd be great. If you have any questions, let me know. It's a little bit of a crazy world out there right now. We have to make sure we take extra precautions and stuff. So some rules we have to follow and stuff. Things are still moving. Things are still happening. If you're selling a place and you're worried about finding a place, there's ways to protect you. And it always seems to work out in my experience. But thanks, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.